In a chaotic week in Brooklyn, UFC 223 belonged to a Rose and an Eagle. Khabib Nurmagomedov capped off one of the rockiest weeks in UFC's 25-year history Saturday night at the Barclays Center, taking down New York's own Al Iaquinta. The Eagle is now a perfect 26-0, securing the belt previously owned by Conor McGregor, the UFC star who made headlines for attacking a bus filled with fighters 2 days before the event. Unlike McGregor, who hasn't fought in the UFC since 2016, the new lightweight champion promises to be active in the octagon.
You wanna fight? Come. I told you guys, we're gonna make him humble. No more fake champions, no more champion who never defend his title. Now UFC have champion, and this champion wanna defend his title.
It was a night for champions. Rose Namajunas remains the UFC Women's Strawweight Champion in her rematch with Joanna Jędrzejczyk. It was a close one, but Thug Rose has defeated the previous champion twice now in an elite matchup of 115-pounders.
I just kept saying I'm the best. Just kept saying that to myself, I'm the best. I just kind of abandoned the game plan a little bit and just went out there and had fun and was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna slug instead of trying to be quick right now because it's obviously not working.
Man, this fight was so close, you know, and people were asking why I've got the rematch and if I was going to give the rematch if I won the fight, but I was the champ for a reason for a long time.
The hectic week aside, UFC President Dana White was very pleased with the outcome of UFC 223.
This is the highest grossing sporting event in Barclays history. At Madison Square Garden, we're number 1 and number 3. Here, we're number 1 and number 2. So we broke our own record tonight. Ridiculous considering the week we had, but amazing. Very happy.
What a fantastic night in Brooklyn, and to think it was almost spoiled by Conor McGregor. The irony is that the 29-year-old McGregor was expected to make positive headlines with a surprise appearance at UFC 223. Reports indicate that he and the UFC were likely going to make an announcement about either fighting Khabib or perhaps boxing legend Floyd Mayweather in the octagon. McGregor has been a full-time professional mixed martial artist since 2008. In those 10 years, he has won featherweight and lightweight titles in Cage Warriors, featherweight and lightweight titles in the UFC, and has become the biggest pay-per-view attraction in all of MMA. But it might be time to consider moving on from McGregor. Khabib is equally as impressive in the octagon, maybe even more so. He's just not the entertainer that Conor is. However, where do you draw the line? McGregor was released on a $50,000 bail after appearing in a New York City court last Friday. He was granted permission to travel outside the United States, but has another court appearance on June 14th. While McGregor was in court last Friday, the UFC was gearing up for its big event last Saturday night. We take one final look back at how the UFC salvaged what could have been a lost event in Brooklyn. Here are the weigh-ins for UFC 223.
This week they asked me fight with 5 different guys. I say I'm tired about this. If you can bring King Kong and he can make 155, let's go. I come here for make history, you know, and it's gonna be very big fight for me, not because of Al Iaquinta. My childhood dream becomes true because I'm gonna fight for real belt. And you know, tomorrow God have plan, inshallah, doesn't matter what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go keep forward, keep going, and make history, inshallah. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
It's the opportunity of a lifetime right here, you know. Thank you, Khabib, for staying in the fight. And, you know, this is the opportunity I'm looking for. Stay ready, seize the moment, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Very cool. This weekend, it will be UFC Fight Night live from Glendale, Arizona. You can watch Saturday night on Fox Sports. There were plenty of punches thrown this week in Boston, but it wasn't a UFC fight. It was Yankees-Red Sox at Fenway Park. By all accounts, the Bronx Bombers won the fight Wednesday night. They also won the game after dropping Tuesday's opener. Tyler Austin and Boston reliever Joe Kelly were at the center of the brawl after Austin went spikes up on breaking up a double play earlier in the game. Later, it was Kelly that threw at Austin. That sparked both benches clearing, punches being thrown, and the pinstriper showing some signs of life. Kelly has been hit with a 6-game ban while Austin was suspended for 5. Both are appealing. The Red Sox may have lost the on-field fight, but they won the war by taking 2 of 3 and the series from the Yanks. Boston won 6-3 Thursday night to take the rubber game. Red Sox starter Rick Porcello flirted with a no-hitter, and a late comeback by the Bombers fell short in the 9th. Aaron Judge broke up the no-no, but it wasn't enough. It's been a rough start for the Yanks. They lost 3 of 4 to Baltimore last weekend to close the opening homestand. The one bright spot was a victory last Saturday at the big ballpark in the Bronx. We go inside the locker room for more.
Well, it's big. I mean, every win's big, but I think today, after that long game last night, I think it was big for us to come out here and, you know, we didn't lay down. We kept scoring even when we got ahead. You know, we go up 2 runs and then we just keep pouring it on. And I think that, you know, speaks volumes for our team as just keep grinding bats out, and, you know, it paid off in the end.
Yeah, we need to come back and get a win. I mean, we played 14 innings. We grinded really hard. We just didn't come out on top. I mean, they're a tough team. They got a lot of good bats in their lineup, and you know, they got us last night. So I mean, it's a quick turnaround. I mean, I feel like we never left, but we showed back up and played hard today and pulled out a win.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, anytime we lose the first 2 games of a 4-game series, you know, I think it's imperative to win Game 3 and try and give yourself a chance to split the series tomorrow. So it was a big win today. I thought Sonny did a great job. You know, offensively, we were able to get some runs early and really add on there later in the game. So, you know, overall, I thought it was a good day for us. And you know, I know for the first 2 weeks of the season, maybe haven't gone exactly how we would have drawn them up. We've, you know, a couple guys have gone down and gotten hurt, but you know, that's the nature of the game. Our depth has been tested a little bit, but we do have good depth, so we'll be all right.
The Yanks will look to regroup this weekend in Detroit. Sunday is Jackie Robinson Day across Major League Baseball. The Pinstripers are back at home on Monday to face Derek Jeter's Miami Marlins. It's like one big April nightmare for Yankee fans. The 2 best teams in baseball are Boston and the New York Mets. The Red Sox are now 10-2. The Mets are 10-1. And then you have the LA Angels with rookie sensation Shohei Ohtani, who are 11-3. Rena, it's like the Twilight Zone. Among the amazing moments that have marked the Mets' wildly improbable 10-1 start was the game-winning grounder Wednesday night. Adrian Gonzalez, traded by the LA Dodgers, paid nearly $22 million by the Atlanta Braves to go away, signed by the Mets for the major league minimum, singled up the middle to drive in 2 runs, epitomizing just how well pretty much everything right now is going for the Mets. Congrats to them. They begin another homestand tonight with Milwaukee and Flushing. The Mets are good, but the best team in New York right now is playing in the MLS. New York City FC continued their incredible start to Season 4 with a resounding 4-0 victory Wednesday night. The win keeps NYCFC's undefeated season rolling. We go inside the locker room for more.
We played really well in the first half, and we talked about a few things before the game, how we wanted to punish them, and we did it quite well. It was fun to play today because we showed a lot of character and a lot of quality, and I think the first half is the best half for the season for us.
And of course, it's nice to get that first goal and to get that pressure off. And to any team, David is always going to be David. When he's not playing, we can't replace him. We need to do things another way. But I think we've shown now that we got many players on the team that can score goals. We got Ishmael's going off to a really good start, Jesus as well, and now we got Maxi banging in the goals as well. So I think we've shown that we got many players that can score, and I think as a team that's important. If it's only David who's gonna do the goal scoring, it's quite easy to defend against.
One thing that really defines our group is that everybody battles for each other, no matter who it is. There's certain plays where the ball turns over, but everybody's just swarms the opposition. There's a chance late on where things kind of got turned over, the ball gets played in the back post, Max makes an important play to keep a clean sheet. So everybody's got each other's backs, and it's a good feeling, and it's a cohesive bunch. It's really hungry, really, really hungry.
NYCFC travels to Atlanta United for this weekend's match. That's Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. From the WNBA hardwood, the New York Liberty took UConn's Kia Nurse in the first round of the draft Thursday night. Mackenzie Ingram, the sister of New York Giant Evan Ingram, was taken later in the draft by Atlanta. The Liberty are gearing up to play their home games at the Westchester County Center this season, the home of the Westchester Knicks, the Orange and Blues G League affiliate. As for the big club, the Knicks decided Jeff Hornacek's days were numbered. The Knicks beat the Cavs 110-98 Wednesday night to close the regular season. Brass informed Hornacek of his firing upon the team's return to suburban New York following a flight back from Cleveland. The Knicks went 60-104 under Hornacek, the sixth worst record in the NBA over that stretch. They showed some signs of improvement in certain areas, but ultimately it wasn't enough. Who will be the next head coach in New York? Stay tuned. I'll give you my take in the C list. Aaron Baines led a shorthanded Boston lineup with a career-best 26 points and 14 rebounds, carrying the Celtics to a 110-97 victory over the Brooklyn Nets on Wednesday night in the regular season finale. The Nets finished 28-54. The Knicks finished 29-53. That's 11th and 12th, respectively. Plenty of coaching changes at the Garden this spring. Hours after ending their season with a 5-0 loss to the Flyers in Philadelphia, the Rangers fired head coach Alain Vigneault on Saturday night. He is removed after 5 seasons in New York. Now it's playoff time for the NBA and the NHL, albeit with the Nets, Knicks, Rangers, and Islanders out. The New Jersey Devils are still rolling, but off to a rocky start in their playoff series with Tampa Bay. The top seed in the Eastern Conference got early goals from 4 players before holding off the Devils for a 5-2 victory Thursday night in Game 1 of the first round series. And in motor racing, F1's Chinese Grand Prix is set for Sunday in Shanghai, while American open wheel racing IndyCar will be in Long Beach, California Sunday. Meanwhile, NASCAR is in Bristol this weekend. Those are the headlines. We hit the C list to help the Knicks in their search for a head coach. To me, the Knicks can go in 2 different directions here. It's either Mark Jackson, finally, or a return for Jeff Van Gundy. Jackson has close relationships with many in the Knicks organization, and it would be a popular hire among a significant portion of the fan base. The 53-year-old Jackson grew up in New York City, of course, started at St. John's University in Queens, and played for the Knicks, winning Rookie of the Year back in 1988. Jackson coached the Golden State Warriors for 3 seasons through 2014, leading the club to back-to-back playoff appearances for the first time since 1992. Like Jackson, Van Gundy would likely be a popular pick with many Knicks fans. Van Gundy coached the Orange and Blue for parts of 7 seasons, leading the club to 6 consecutive playoff appearances and an Eastern Conference title. Van Gundy's run with the Knicks' most recent period of sustained success. New York has won just 1 playoff series since Van Gundy left early in the 2000-2001 season. I like both coaches very much. I think Jeff should have never stepped away. It's hard to say if he would return after 11 seasons away from coaching, but I would ask him first. If he declines, Jackson is number 2 on my list. Either way, both would be upgrades for the Knicks. Chime in on social media. Let me know who you would like to see as the next head coach for the Knicks. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.